Let's shift gears over to the NBA before we run out of time. There was a huge trade. Desmond Bane, what was it? 4 first round picks, 4
Yeah,
unprotected
yeah.
first round picks. And there's also some, percolating news about Kevin Durant to the Heat and maybe Russell Westbrook to the Heat. What do you think if you add Kevin Durant? Let's say you can add Kevin Durant and you don't lose Bam or Tyler. Where are they in the East? Bam, KD, Tyler Herro is
Yeah.
your big three.
Hawk, I said it last night on our sports show with Clay because we debated, what do you give up for KD? Like, what do you legitimately give up? And I said anything but Bam or Tyler. That's where I leave it. And when you talk about assets and building for the future and all this stuff, you look at what happened here. If you go back to December when the Heat and Pacers were basically the same team, at least it seemed like, and this is obviously pre all the Jimmy stuff. You're thinking to yourself, okay, the Pacers are about as likely as the Heat are to get to the finals. It's unlikely. And the Pacers are in the NBA Finals battling against a 68-win team. I mean, you look at what they did, or 64, whatever they were, 64-win team. You look at what they did, and it shows you that the East is wide open still. So, yeah, Kevin Durant with Bam and Tyler, you put other pieces in there, led by Eric Spoelstra, I think is a team that can compete for one of the top few seeds and have an opportunity to compete in the playoffs. I do. I just don't think, and I think you have to think that way because what I told Clay last night is what I'll tell you right now, Hawk. I don't want to see this team run it back. There were times where that offense and that team last year were unwatchable. And it's okay to say that. They were. Defensively, they play hard, and Spo, they always have a chance. And I love all those things in the culture. But this team needs something. And a 26-point scorer, I don't care what age he is, and Kevin Durant, moves the needle for me to them being competitive in the East. I think you do what you can to get them.
But, Will, the only thing, and Kevin Durant's a Hall of Famer first ballot. He's one of the most amazing scorers I've watched with my own eyes living. But I watched Brooklyn with him and James Harden, nothing. Then I watched Phoenix with him, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. They didn't even make the playoffs, Will. So is that something that should pop in my head when I think about Kevin Durant? Is just he had to get with Steph Curry and Draymond Green and them boys to win a championship.
I mean, you could kind of, you could say the same thing with LeBron, right? LeBron had to come here with Dwayne and CB, and he won the title, and then he gets Anthony Davis. I get the logic. You're not wrong. But I think Kevin Durant's a different type of superstar in the sense that, he gets a lot of backlash for stuff like that. But the reality is, he doesn't have to come in here and be a leader. He doesn't kind of have to be a rah-rah guy. You got Bam for that. You got guys in that building that you got, obviously, even UD behind the scenes. You have guys in that building that are leaders that can be the heart and soul of the team. Just go in there, take your hoodie off, score 26 points, put it back on, come back the next day, deal with the media however you want to deal with, and be Kevin Durant, because the Heat are missing something. And to me, a player of his caliber, his elite scoring ability, I've never heard a bad thing about Kevin Durant as a teammate, right? I've never heard that he's difficult. And they just dealt with 5-6 years of a guy who came in with the label of being difficult, and they went to 2 NBA finals. So to me, a guy like KD would fit in just fine. I don't see a problem with any of the other stuff that, as far as what he's done or hasn't done in the past in certain teams. I think here he would fit in fine and help this team be a lot better and a lot more watchable and exciting than they've been the last couple of years.
I know it's a fluid situation, Will. I saw Shams Charania a couple hours ago say that KD has no desired, quote, to be in Minnesota, and now the Miami Heat are the betting favorites. But I realize, very fluid situation. But you are seeing people kind of cape up for guys they don't think the Heat should trade. And look, is Kel'el Ware on that list for you? If it means Kevin Durant, would you be willing to part ways with Kel'el Ware, or is there still too much upside there for the Heat, and they should do everything they can to keep him?
I mean, there's 2 parts to that. The second part you just said is true. There's a lot of upside, and they should do whatever they can to keep him. But if you could get Kevin Durant, the only ones I'm not trading are Bam and Tyler. That's it. Because to me, KD, Bam, and Tyler is your new nucleus once you move past post-Jimmy. And let's not forget what the Heat did. That was their core, right? The core of Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler with other pieces mixed with the development of Gabe and Max and all those things and Duncan hitting threes. That became an NBA final team twice. So if you throw Kevin Durant for the next couple of years in there and you mix and match and you trust your head coach, one of the ultimate greats of Spo, you trust your front office to fill in pieces. To me, that's a chance you take. That's a risk you take other than running it back, because running it back isn't going to work. We've seen it 2 years in a row. It's just not going to work. They have to pivot post Jimmy, and that has to include an alpha, a guy that can take that lead role. And I don't know if anybody fits that better for the short term than Kevin Durant.
You're telling me, Will, that if the deal was presented to you and it included Tyler Herro and not Bam, you would say no to Kevin Durant?
Well, the problem is you have to think what else is going on, because I don't think the combo of KD and Bam is going to move the needle by itself in the East. I think it has to have Tyler, because I think Tyler is at his best when he's not the alpha. And Tyler handled the alpha role pretty well post Jimmy, but we saw that he needs help. You throw in a 25-point score, and then Tyler can be the 23, 25-point score as the secondary guy. Now you're talking about a team that I think that can make some noise and be good in the East. I think you take that away, and yeah, you're losing too much scoring. What you're getting in KD and losing in Tyler doesn't balance out to me.
And Will, what is if KD's off the books? Let's say KD goes to Houston, wherever else he's talking about. Then what do you do? Because I don't want to run it back either. But now what do? We depend on Russell Westbrook to come in here and be the one, because he can't shoot a three. They leave him wide open nowadays. What would be option 2 if we can't get KD?
I mean, the option 2, Channing, is basically running back, but for the beginning of the year of having Andrew Wiggins as that third piece, and then you see what the development of Kalel was. You see if Nico could stay healthy and how he develops all year. You are essentially, if you don't get KD, now, are there other things that could open up in the next 7-8 weeks? Sure, I'm sure there are. But the reality is this is what's in front of you. So there would be some sort of a version of run it back, because to me, run it back, everybody says run it back, right? Run it back. It's a term we use a lot. It's not that you're bringing the same 15 guys back, but that you're bringing the same core back. And the core post Jimmy was Tyler, Bam, and Andrew Wiggins, and the development of those young guys I mentioned. I don't see a scenario if they don't get KD outside, again, of another star coming free for some reason, that it's not going to be some sort of version of that next season.
Will Manso, you see him on Local 10. We'll see you at the Ameron Bank Arena tomorrow, Will.
I will come by and say hello. I cannot wait. I wish it was today, guys. I really am. I hate this extra day. I want to get there tomorrow, but we'll have some fun.
I'm ready to roll as well, man. I hope they close it out tomorrow. That would be fun. We'll see you, Will. We appreciate your time.
You got it, guys.
There you go, Will Manso.